I think a lot of people probably come to see me, and probably a lot of financial advisors or planners, on the basis of what might be their perception of a very simple problem with a potential simple solution. And I've always taken the view that you've really got to, you want to understand the person and the people that you're dealing with, and so that you tend to then to dig underneath, and you lift the layers, and you start to see that potentially there are more complex issues there at play. And once you start to do that, the person understands that, one, you care, and you're trying to understand their situation. And I generally always try to put that into context of why I'm doing it, and it's for their benefit. I'm not just prying into their personal life. And as you do that, it then brings about the most challenging parts of your job. So you uncover perhaps more complex issues, and you are then able to put into play your knowledge and experience in relation to being able to solve those more complex solutions. And I guess one thing I'm very careful to do today is not to try and say to someone who's coming with one problem, and you then uncover 10, and then say, right, we've got to fix all 10 today. You obviously need to make sure you try and stage that and manage that on the basis of how they want things to work out, not how I want things to work out. So it becomes like, you almost become like a financial project manager in some ways, that you're actually managing certain things and ticking them off the list as you move through. And that's why I very much build the process of the review, that you've got to be constantly reviewing these things, because the only way that I'm going to know when we've got to that next point where something does need to be done in action for you is by you coming back and sitting down, and I understand, okay, we've reached that point now, something's changed, which is just causing us to need to look at this in more detail, look at this further. So yeah, so having complex scenarios, not every situation is complex, but I think every interview or every discussion I have with a client, probably even ones that have been clients for 10, 15 years, we tend to always find the next thing, the next step, something else. And some of that comes about because of my knowledge and experience has probably continued to grow and expand. So I can actually then say, right, well, I've seen this, I can now see this is going to be relevant to you. Perhaps we should start talking about this particular situation or circumstance or outcome.